If you are concerned about the state of the world and you've been wondering if we can heal the problems we face today, I want to share with you my healing reading for the world. Hi, it's Misa Hopkins, Mother Misa, as some of you know me. At my channel, we talk about awakening and healing through the sacred feminine. If you want to stay connected to me in this topic, be sure to subscribe below. For over 20 years, I've been doing healing readings for people, helping them get to the emotional, spiritual roots behind illnesses. I know from experience that when we get clear about the emotional and spiritual roots behind our pain, we release ourselves from the bonds of the pain and find the energy we need to make new choices and to heal. Every person comes into this world with spiritual insights and abilities that assist each of us in being able to heal our suffering and thrive. We weren't created with the ability to suffer and with no means to get better. The people of this planet are endowed with numerous gifts and abilities for making our time here on Earth meaningful and pleasurable. When I think about us collectively, here are some of the gifts I see. We're endowed with intelligence, compassion, intuition, cleverness, persistence, creativity, and communication, to name just a few. For every problem we face, there is already an answer or several answers just waiting to be discovered. And we as humans love to create, whether it's baking a guilt-free, gluten-free, processed, sugar-free chocolate indulgence of a cake, or creating an inventive new automobile that uses less gas or even no gas. We love to create. And with every act of creation, we also create side effects, those unexpected problems that seem to come along for the ride, like eating that healthy chocolate cake and still gaining weight, or overloading your system with excess sugar, even natural sugar that was too much for your body, or driving an inventive new automobile that uses less gas or even no gas, but needs to be plugged into proper electrical power centers to recharge, power that originated from a dam. Every act of creation has its side effects. On a global scale, some of the side effects we're seeing from our acts of creation include, and you know them, pollution, traffic, deforestation, global warming, higher cost of goods, lost jobs, lower income for many people of color and women, bullying, addiction, high rates of depression, and even suicide, overcrowded prisons, and on and on. We overload ourselves and the earth and end up creating toxic environments. How do we get out of this mess? Here are 3 emotional spiritual remedies I recommend for transitioning us out of these toxic environments and into lifestyles and environments in which we collectively thrive. Here is the first thing we need to do. We need to detoxify. We need to do a cleanse. Right now, we need to put as much energy into cleaning up as we do in creating. And we start by detoxing our thoughts. When we refuse to take responsibility for ourselves, blame others, reject kindness, speak sarcastically, punish ourselves and each other with harsh thoughts and words, and tell ourselves and each other about how unworthy and not good enough we are creating an environment that harbors toxic thoughts. Toxic thoughts become abusive actions, either toward ourselves or others. And we justify those actions with those same toxic thoughts that started it all. We need to replace our harshness with kindness. We need to put more energy into understanding someone else than we put into criticizing another person. Instead of blaming ourselves, we need to understand the events and beliefs that caused us to make the choices that we've made, and we need to pay that same courtesy to others. Those are the points of intervention and peacemaking. We need to be less about punishing people and more about helping people find their way back to their centers where they could not imagine intentionally hurting themselves or another. We need to remember that all people suffer, not just us, and do what we can to create less suffering in our own lives and in the lives of others. We need to listen to the beating heart of our own deepest desires and listen for that beating heart in others. When our thoughts are no longer toxic, our actions toward ourselves and others will be generous and kind. Here's the second thing we need to do for planetary healing and decreasing toxic overload. We need balance. Here I'm talking about energetic balance. So much attention has been placed on achievement that we have people who are stressed out, anxious, depressed, and feeling unworthy to even live. In fact, I've felt that way, and I would imagine some of you have felt that way. One of the primary reactions to our obsession with achievement is to underachieve, to hide away, watch TV, try to escape the pain in an addictive substance or behavior, complain about the state of the world, and blame other people for the problems we are experiencing. For any being to function well, it needs balance. Now, I'm a lifelong student of sacred feminine and masculine, or yin and yang energies. So it's my nature to look at our balance in terms of these two primary energies. The pressure to achieve comes out of masculine energy. Sacred masculine energy, or yang energy, in its natural state is a blissful expression of joy and love. But when we disconnect from the joy and love, we become obsessed with achieving in order to prove our value and our worth. We achieve to win, even at the expense of others. We forget that we have value simply because we exist. Knowing you have value simply because you are comes from sacred feminine perspective, or yin energy. In yin energy, you know you have value simply because you are here. Your beingness and your innate nature and inherent gifts are as valuable as your achievements. When you cannot perform at your maximum, maybe due to the downtime you spend healing from exposure to toxins, at the very least, you can know you are valuable and lovable as a being, whether or not you can perform. When you are with children who are still young and not ready to contribute to society, you can still see their value as lovable and worthy beings. We need to remember that how we are with each other as humans is just as important as what we do with each other. Abuse thrives in environments where people are forced to prove their value. When we honor the value of each person's life in their suchness, abuse can't exist. This same principle applies to our planet. Valuing the planet simply because she exists and being grateful for the beauty, inspiration, and serenity she inspires in us spiritually and emotionally is just as important as what she can do for us in terms of providing food, water, clothing, housing, jobs, and providing for us physically. We need feminine, masculine, balanced perspectives in order for the planet to heal. And here's the third thing we need for planetary healing and eliminating toxic overload. And I'll bet it won't be a surprise for you, but oh, is it an important one. We need compassion. Compassion starts waking up when we begin the process of detoxing. And it grows naturally when we see the value of another being simply because they exist, whether that being is a human, animal, plant, or the planet itself. When we love ourselves and when we love each other, all the beings of the planet and the planet itself enough, we won't be able to imagine creating a toxic mess for someone else to have to live in. We'll want to deal with those side effects immediately. The suffering we have experienced is suffering we wouldn't want anyone to experience. We believe in compassion so much, We are willing to live from compassion, especially when that's the hardest thing we can imagine doing. Here's the good news. I've been blessed to travel to many places in this world, and I've noticed that everywhere I go, for the most part, most of the time, people are compassionate. If we are willing to hold in our hearts and minds a vision of a clean, balanced, and compassionate world, we'll want to create it. If from that vision, we take whatever action we can to live in a clean, balanced, and compassionate manner, we are going to create it. How do I know this? Because we are creators, and for the most part, we are good people that care deeply. We were created with the ability to heal by using all our collective gifts. We are great creators, and if we make cleaning up, balance, and compassion our focus, we will heal the world. I see this regularly when I do healing readings for individuals. For every challenge a person experiences, they have one or more spiritual gifts that can help them heal both emotionally and physically. And the same is true for us collectively. And by the way, if you are curious about personal healing readings, check out the link below the video. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What do you believe we need to be or do in order to help our world heal? Write your comments below. I look forward to hearing from you and joining together to create healing for ourselves, one another, our animals, and the entire planet.